Hello, everyone. Hello. Today's theme is what we learned from the Japanese shrines. Talking about shrines, I used to go there on every New Year's Day with my father when I was a child. And we called it as Sansha Mairi. I didn't know the meaning of our visit at that time. I was just thinking like, we visit shrine because we celebrate New Year's Day. Is it common for everyone to do this, Sansha Mairi? Well, thinking about the word, Sansha Mairi, I guess there are many people who aren't familiar with this word. Oh, really? I had never heard of that when I was living in Tokyo. Wow. Then, you visit only one place? I mean, we don't know the word, Sansha Mairi itself. But you visit the shrines, right? Yes. That's Hatsu mode. So, well, I didn't have the habit to visit 3 shrines a day, called Sansha Mairi. Oh, right. It's called Sansha Mairi to visit 3 shrines a day. Yes. Is it only in Fukuoka? I don't know. Well, anyway, we visit the shrines, but I'm not sure if I knew the meaning of it when I was little. It was just like a kind of customs. It's a traditional custom. Right. And when I got older as an adult, I still didn't know the meaning of visiting the shrines. I considered the shrines as the place to make a wish. I was thinking like, for example, if I make a wish that I want to be a rich, please, then it would become true. But as I learned more about the shrines, I realized it wasn't something like that. In the first place, the shrines are the places where the Japanese gods are. I think you already know what kind of god the shrines nearest your places have as Gosaishin. It's decided what kind of god each shrine had been made for. So each of them has its sacred god as Gosaishin. Right. We have Yao Yorozu no Kami, 8 million gods equals myriads of gods, in Japan. Each of the shrine has different god. You can see which god is for each shrine if you look up. There are many gods and for example, this shrine is for the god of something, or, how many, Hashira. There are at the shrine, the god is called Hashira, by the way. So, we can count the numbers of god like. There is 1 Hashira, or 2 Hashiras, for the shrine. I didn't know that the gods can be counted as Hashira. I know there is the Hashira in Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, too. I guess it's a bit different from that. Oh, I see. So, we call the places as shrines because there are some kind of god enshrined there. It's humans' matter to make a wish or not at the shrine. I guess. Right. When we visit the shrine, we can see, Gosaishin is enshrined and there is a mirror in every shrine. I also didn't understand the meaning of it, but every one of them has each meaning. Of course, they have. We visit the shrines to see the gods, but it's the place where we face ourselves after all. The mirror reflects us, and it makes our mind clearer. So we can remove ga equals ourself from ka ga mi, mirror in Japanese. Then it will be ka mi, God in Japanese. So, that's the place we can remove our obstinacy and be purified. And people can be cleared. I've heard that Japanese gods and shrines have the belief that people are fundamentally good. I see. I've learned from many people about those kinds of things about Japanese shrines and Japanese gods. Yes, you have been learning about it and I think it's great. There are many things and people that we can learn from. The reason why we're taking this video today is because we visited Ai's Grand Shrine yesterday and the day before yesterday. There is a senior priest, called Negi, whose name is Yoshikawa-san, and he talked about, what's the shrines in Ai's Grand Shrine? And, what's the gods and Shintoism? And that was good. It wasn't just good, but wonderful. Yes, it was very wonderful and easy to understand. Actually, thanks to our relationship with Doko-san. I've joined his tour of Ai's Grand Shrine every year and it was 10th of it this year. It was the memorable one. The tour was made by Yoshikawa-san and Doko-san, and I didn't join the first one. Oh, you didn't? No, though I knew they had it. Didn't you want to go? No, it was just bad timing for me. I heard stories from the people who participated the first tour. So I wanted to participate it in a row from the second one. So it was the 9th for me this year. That's great. I've visited there on the same day for 9 times in a row. We visit there every year on June 11th and 12th, and I've been there 9 times, and all 9 times were different. Oh, I think so too. How many times have you joined the tour so far, Suguru-san? 4 times. At the first time, it was like, Takako-san took me to join it. I didn't understand any meaning of it and the purpose of visiting Ai's shrine. All I knew was that it was the best shrine in Japan. For those who don't know, well, I'm sure there are shrines near where you live, but in fact there are over 80,000 shrines in Japan. 80,000 is a lot. It is. That's more than the number of convenience stores in Japan. Really? Yes. Wow. So, there are convenience stores in your town, right? Right. There are more shrines than there are convenience stores. They're everywhere. At the top of among over 80,000 shrines is Ai's Grand Shrine. No wonder it's for Amaterasu Omikami. There's many shrines which enshrines Amaterasu Omikami as its Gosaishin. Right. It's kind of branch shrines. Yes, so, the top of Japanese shrines is... It doesn't mean that is the greatest. It's not the greatest, I guess. It's not something like that, they're all same. But when I first visited there, I was thinking like that. The more I visited there, the more it made sense to me. Let me tell you about Ai's Grand Shrine. Well, it's not only about Ai's Grand Shrine, but it's about all the shrines, why people visit the shrines. I think that's the important thing. When you visit the shrines, don't you feel refreshed? Yes, I do. It's like feeling good. Of course, everyone feels differently, but the atmosphere there is different and it is refreshing for me. To me, there's a kind of unique energy that I feel inside myself in the silence of the shrines. This feeling is absolutely wonderful for me. Thinking about the shrines, including Ai's Grand Shrine. They often with greens like forests and mountains near them, aren't they? Oh, yes, they are. Even if it's in city center. There are many trees around them and some of them have a big tree as their Goshinboku, sacred tree. So, I think many of the shrines are with forests and natures near them. Is that why we feel refreshed? I think that's part of it. Well, talking about Ai's Grand Shrine, that's a forest, right? Yes, it is. You'll see when you go there that it's pretty big. And it's inside the forest, and there's a big tree in the middle of the approach road. In other countries, they usually cut off such trees when they're in the way. However, in Japan, we don't cut them off. We leave it as they are and people walk around it. There's a huge tree there, right? Yes, there's a very big one. And the point is, they're in the forest and the nature. Yoshikawa-san of Ai's Grand Shrine told us that there are environmental sounds in the forest that are inaudible to our ear. So-called the noise, right? The environmental sounds are something which cannot come into our ears. He told us that it seemed to have positive effects on people. There are people who examine sound frequencies. And according to them, there's an effect called hypersonic effect, and that is existing in the forest of Ai's Grand Shrines as well. We cannot hear it with our ears, but it affects our bodies. Which is the good effect. It's also existing in Amazon. Amazon. I've never been there. Inside of Amazon, it's jungle, you know, there's hypersonic effect as well. And it also exists in Bali Island. Oh, Bali. It was thought that the hypersonic effect was to be found only in such amazing places, but in fact, surprisingly, they found that its level in the forest of Ai's Grand Shrine is the same as in Amazon and Bali. Oh, I see. So, to get the effect there, it's better to stay there for 20 minutes because the hypersonic effect cannot be heard with our ears, but it comes into us from our whole body. Thinking about the forest of Ai's Grand Shrine. It takes about 20 minutes to go to pray and back, right? Well, Ai's Grand Shrine is very big, you know. So, if we stay in the forest for 20 minutes, we can have such effects scientifically. According to Yoshikawa-san, that effect is not only in Ai's Grand Shrine. Oh, really? We can have same effects at those shrines in the nature like forests or mountains. So I recommend you to visit the shrines full of natures near where you live. Right. That would be great, I think. I guess there's many people who don't live near Ai's Grand Shrine. So, the shrines are the places where the gods are, but they're also wonderful in environmental aspect. For me, it's a place where I can learn to appreciate the nature. Oh, I see. I think that's the great points about the shrines. Well, I said that I wasn't sure about the meaning of visiting the shrines at first, but as I participated in the tour for the second year, the third year and the fourth year, I gradually learned more and more. You know, I couldn't understand Kagura, sacred Shinto music and dance, at first. Since I had to sit straight, I had sore legs. But what I've learned so far is, as Takako-san told the story about the mirror earlier, getting back myself, and that's what I think where our power is. So I think the important thing is to getting back myself and expressing gratitude for that. Right. There's more to this than I can talk about in just one video. What we've talked on this video is just the beginning, so I recommend you to read this book written by Yoshikawa-san. There's a lot of really good stuff in here. Look how many stickies I have. I haven't bought it yet. This book is wonderful, so please get one and read it. The most important way to live is taught by the Ai's Grand Shrine. Reading this will give you new findings and feelings. Right, so, today we talked about the shrines. Well, I think we have DNA as Japanese. How was today's theme? I hope this helps even a little. Stay tuned for our next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you.